Alright fellas, now over the history of boxing, no division has been a bigger spectacle than the heavyweight division. Some of the biggest names in boxing have come from this division, and most likely, if you try to think of a past great heavyweight, an American will pop in your mind. America's ruled this division throughout history, yet I think we're about to see the end of this, at least for a while. Now you might be sitting there going, Cloister, what are you on about? Heavyweight boxing and America go hand in hand, but just look at the top heavyweight boxers currently. Who are the biggest stars and where are they from? The shift has already pretty much occurred, and America's last hope for the upcoming generation just ran into a bit of trouble. Today, I want to talk about how we ended up in this situation, how the one major hope for the upcoming generation has ended up in a bit of a sticky situation, and what the future really holds. So let's get right into it. Looking back at history for a second, over the 20th century we saw the heavyweight division become what it is today. And in the process, over this time we saw countless legendary American heavyweights who would leave debatably the biggest marks ever on the sport rise to prominence. An early example of course would be Jack Johnson, the first African American heavyweight champion. He broke racial barriers in the early 1900s, facing significant backlash for his victories over white opponents in an era of intense racial segregation. Following Johnson, Joe Louis became an iconic figure, holding the heavyweight title for over a decade and becoming a symbol of American strength and unity during World War II. The post-war era introduced a new generation of heavyweight legends, including Rocky Marciano, the only retired undefeated heavyweight champion ever, and Muhammad Ali, whose influence extended beyond the ring through his charismatic personality and social activism. The dominance of the American heavyweights continued to rise, with fighters such as Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield in the late 20th century, solidifying America's place at the forefront of heavyweight boxing. Let me know your favourite down below. Now, by the early 21st century, the landscape of heavyweight boxing experienced a significant shift, marked by the notable decline in American dominance. This period saw the emergence of the new generation of heavyweight champions, primarily from Eastern Europe, who began to overshadow the American fighters. The Klitschko brothers, Vladimir and Vitaly, were particularly instrumental in this transition. Vladimir Klitschko held various versions of the heavyweight title for over a decade, while his brother Vitaly also claimed multiple championships, effectively creating a long-lasting reign that kept the heavyweight belts out of American hands. Their technical prowess, size and discipline set a new standard in the division, and American heavyweights struggled to find success against these well-prepared Eastern European champions. During this era, American boxing faced several challenges, including a shift in athletic talent to other sports such as football and basketball, which offered more lucrative opportunities to young athletes. The heavyweight division, once the crown jewel of American boxing, began to lose its luster, as a new generation of fighters failed to capture the public's imagination. While there were a few notable American heavyweights during this time, such as Chris Bird and John Ruiz, they lacked the widespread appeal and dominance of their predecessors. The rise of mixed martial arts also contributed to the decline in interest in heavyweight boxing in the US, as fans gravitated to the excitement and novelty of this burgeoning sport. As a result, American heavyweight boxing entered a period of relative obscurity. Yet the 2010s marked a turning point, gradually setting the stage for a resurgence that would lead into the present day. Early in the decade, the dominance of the Klitschko brothers persisted, with Vladimir maintaining a stranglehold on the heavyweight division. However, the seeds of change were being sown as a new generation of American heavyweights began to emerge. One of the key figures in this resurgence was of course Deontay Wilder, whose explosive power and charismatic personality quickly made him a fan favourite. Wilder captured the WBC heavyweight title in 2015. His reign brought back much needed excitement to the division, as he delivered a string of dramatic knockouts that reminded fans of that raw power that defined past American champions. Despite criticisms of his unorthodox style and limited technical skills, Wilder's knockout power and willingness to take on all comers revitalized American interest in the heavyweight division. Yet, after the Wilder Fury trilogy, which was really the last time we saw prime Wilder, of course the question turns to where next for American heavyweight boxing. For most people, we all turned and pointed to Jared Anderson being the next big name for Americans. He has the backing of Top Rank, seems to be a bit of a showman, and he'll wait for the current crop to retire and then make his move, right? What could go wrong? Well, a few things went wrong. Anderson was coming in at 17-0 before his last fight and was really a part of the Top Rank protection racket, and to be honest, I don't have anything overly wrong with that. I was expecting to see Top Rank keep their assets safe till a really big fight came up, such as Golden Boy did with Munguia. Yet then the Saudis came along and went, do you want to be on a big cross-promoted card? And really, if you think about it, the Saudi cards are currently the home for heavyweight boxing anyway, so you can't really say no to an offer. so Anderson found himself on the other side of the ring to Martin Bakole. Although he has no other major fights than the Michael Hunter fight, Bakole's power and size was definitely something to be respected. Though Anderson was the clear favourite, and most saw this as a natural step up to put him in the position for the opportunities at that next level. Yet from the opening round it was clear this was going to be a tough fight for Anderson. He showed promise early in the fight, controlling the initial rounds with a good amount of energy and precision, attempting to use a similar plan to Michael Hunter. However, Bakole's power and tactical execution began to dominate as the fight progressed. In the 5th round, Bakole's relentless combinations and uppercuts overwhelmed Anderson, resulting in multiple knockdowns. Despite Anderson's attempts to recover and continue fighting, the referee was compelled to stop the fight due to unreturned heavy shots from Bakole, marking Anderson's first professional loss. Bakole's size and power was just simply too much for Anderson. Now usually I wouldn't be questioning just one loss, but Anderson's attitude has been questioned before, stating that he doesn't need to be a world champion and all he cares about is the money. Alongside this simply pretty poor attitude, a string of bad decisions has most likely taken away a bit of focus for him. So what does that mean moving forwards? Now for Anderson, he was kind of seen as the last true hope for this generation of American heavyweights. Although this loss will be far from a career ender, it will certainly put him back a step. With this loss combined with his past attitude, it could result in him truly never reaching his potential. At least in the near future, if Anderson is hypothetically out of the race, is there anyone else? You might point and say, well, Michael Hunter. But no. The bloke's 36 and after his last fight I don't see him beating anyone at the higher level. The only hope in the near future I would look towards is Richard Torres Jr. Another fighter under the top ranked banner. He's becoming quickly quite a popular figure, yet in my opinion he has too many vulnerabilities which will be exposed at the higher level, which were also exposed during his amateur career. So at least for the near future, expect to see little to no significant heavyweight action coming from the States. Anderson and Torres might come good eventually, but I think they won't be anything close to the stars we have previously seen. Expect a similar period to what we saw in the early 2000s, yet potentially even worse for the American fans, seeing that most of these significant heavyweight fights won't have a chance to be on American soil. But hey, there's always Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, right? Overall, I haven't seen too many people talk about this, so I'd love to hear your opinion on what you think of the state of American heavyweights, and what do you think of the prospects for the near future? Please consider subscribing or liking, it really does help the channel if you enjoyed the video. And anyways, thanks for watching fellas, and I'll catch you in the next one.